Hello everybody and welcome to another art supply swatching. As you can see, I have only just a few things here, and these are all the colors that I didn't feel fit in with the reds, and they didn't fit in with the yellows, so they are all the peaches and the oranges. Although as I'm looking at them spread out here, this one right here kind of looks maybe too yellow, but whatever. It is here now and we are going to swatch it. So I'm going to get started with the colored pencils as I usually do because, I don't know, I just started doing it that way and that's the way I do it. And yeah, let's get on with the swatching. So I have myself a little swatched out grids. I don't know if you can even see it on camera. And we'll get going. So this is, I mentioned in my swatching yellows that I have a ton of these old Prismacolor colored pencil crayons from back when I was in high school. I had like the big huge, I don't know if it was 72 colors or 150. I had the whole set anyways, and so I still have a ton of these left because I don't use them that often anymore. But I haven't been happy with the new quality of the newer Prismacolors. So I've been experimenting with different brands, and this is one of the brands that I have picked up a couple to experiment with, and it's the Caran d'Ache Luminance colored pencils. I only have a few of these, and so you'll see them, but they're just a little bit thicker than the Prismacolors, and it feels nicer to hold, I find. And the finish on it is really nice, but other than that, we'll swatch it out and see how it is to work with. This color is Brown Ochre 10%. It's very smooth. I wonder if these are oil-based or waxed base. I'll have to look that up. Feels much softer than the Prismacolors that I was swatching before. Get a nice smooth gradient. Okay, not bad. So now into the Prismacolor ones that I have here. I'm seeing here all of these are old except for this one here is one of the newer I keep wanting to say newer brand, but it's the same brand, the newer manufacturer. They're from, like, it's more recent. But first I'm going to do these like light to dark. So the first one I've got here is 997, which according to the internets is called beige. And I just want to say thank you to both Prismacolor and Caran d'Ache for not calling any of these flesh. It's such a horrible name for a color, as well as just not really very accurate. So yeah, this one, I mean, it feels soft too, but it does feel just a tiny bit grittier than the Caran d'Ache Luminance. Trying to get that gradient again. I'm trying to swatch them out in nice little square shapes so that my OCD doesn't go crazy later when I'm looking at all these weird random shapes. Okay, the next one is another Prismacolor, number 940, and the color is called Sand. This is the one that I thought, yeah, see, I probably could have put this in the yellow. It's very yellowy. Oh well, it's here now. Next up, I think I will do this one here, which is one of the, sorry, I bumped the camera, one of their newer manufactured pencils. And it is PC1001. The color name is Salmon Pink. The new ones do have the names on them, whereas the old ones do not, but I googled them up and anywho. Ah, see, this is one of the things I hate about the new ones is they break a lot. But I'll just give this a sharpen here. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? This one definitely falls in the peachy colored category. Okay, next I'm going to do this one here, 939, and its color is peach. Similar to salmon, but it is a little orange, a little orangier, a little more orangey. Okay, next I have Prismacolor 918, which is simply called orange. And yes, that is definitely just an orange. It reminds me of orange popsicles or freezies in the summer. Lovely. And this is the last regular colored pencil that I have, and it is 921. It's called Pale Vermilion, and I believe vermilion's considered a red, but it is very, very on the warm orangey side of the reds. So I just thought it was definitely too orange to go with my other reds. This is kind of relaxing, just sitting here in the quiet, coloring little squares of color. Okay, I'm going to go down a line and do water-soluble. So this is a water-soluble colored pencil by Derwent. It is orange chrome 10, and I had bought myself a small set of, I don't know, probably 12 of these pencils just to experiment with. I do have a few other kinds of water-soluble colored pencils, which you may see later in other colors, but this is the only one I have for the orange. So I'm going to color this one all out, and then I will wet half of it so we can see the difference between just coloring with it and then painting over it with water. Still going to try to get that gradient in it. Not a super smooth gradient, but that's okay. Okay, where's my paintbrush? Way to be prepared, Wendy. Okay, I couldn't find the paintbrush that I was going to use, but I found another one, so I'm going to use it instead, and I'm going to move my water glass over here so I don't bump the camera. find with water-soluble colored pencils, the color definitely seems to intensify when you get it wet. You can still see the pencil marks underneath it a little bit. Maybe not with the glare of the water. So it doesn't completely dissolve out, but like I said, it does seem to intensify it, smooth it out, blend it. Actually, you know what? I don't know if you know this, I discovered something kind of cool about regular colored pencils. Let's grab this piece of paper here. If you have a regular colored pencil, let's pick a nice dark one here. Let's just do a scribble. And on a textured paper, you can see all that there. If you want to blend it out and make it nice and smooth, you can use one of these alcohol-based blending markers. Hold on, it's a little dirty, sorry. Good enough. But watch what happens to this rough, scratchy thing when I go over it. Look at that, it's just like, it just smooths it right out, like it almost looks like pastel or maybe even watercolor. But neat, right? I thought it was neat anyways. Back to what I was doing. The next one I'm going to swatch out here is actually a watercolor. It's by Daniel Smith, and they make these watercolor sticks for a lot of their pigments. And it's the same pigment that you get when you buy the tubes. It just happens to come in this stick. And I think I bought a couple of them in the stick form because they were sold out of the tube versions and I wanted these colors. This one is Pyrrole Orange. And I've already broken off a piece here. You can just break off a piece and stick it in your palette and use it like a pan of paint. So I've already done that with a chunk of it. But you can also just draw right on your paper with it and wet it down. I find it doesn't wet as well as here, I'll show you. It doesn't wet as well. I'll do two swatches here. Let me get my eraser and get rid of these here. Okay, so you can just color it on your paper like a big fat crayon. You can't get a whole lot of tiny detail with that big fat end unless you were to sharpen it, which I don't want to right now. Okay, sorry about that. My phone stopped recording, so I now have my backup phone, my old one here plugged in that I'm going to finish this video with. I don't know if you're going to see a difference in the quality, but I was going through this here to show that you can scribble on your paper directly with it. And then use some water to paint it out. But as you can see, when you do it this way, it doesn't really reactivate very well. It does a little bit, but not a whole lot. The way these are intended to be used is like a watercolor pan, basically. So I have a wet paintbrush, and I'm just gonna activate it here with water. Now, why it activates so much better this way than once you've already scribbled it on the paper, no idea, not a clue. But there is your Pyrrole Orange, and you can see it is very, very bright and saturated and 100% a watercolor now. So they definitely work better that way. But if you're just looking for some pale background texture, it would work this way, and then you can just paint like a wash over top of it, you know, later, or vice versa. Anyways, it's the watercolor stick by Daniel Smith. I almost said Daniel Newton. Okay, my last watercolor here is a Winsor Newton, and it is Winsor Orange. And its pigment is Pigment Orange 62. This one have pigment information on it? I don't think it did. Yes, it does. Pigment orange 73. Oh dear. Okay. This is my only orange watercolor. As you can see, there's very little left. And it may actually be all dried out in there. Because even though I have used it a lot, I don't use it a lot now. So let's just see if I can get some paint activated in there. Yeah, that's working. Nice bright summery orange. Okay, the only two things I have left here now in this color range is my two Copic markers. And I mentioned this before, my yellow one, but I was really into Copics for a while. Copics? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And I have a handful of these, or a couple handfuls of these, and it's usually a dark and a light in the same hue family because I was blending a lot, doing a lot of gradients with them. And I haven't used them in a while, but I still have them. They're not all dried out, so I thought I'd add them to the swatches here. And I'm just going to swatch them down here because I'm going to stick a piece of paper underneath this block, because when I swatched it out, when I swatched out the yellow ones, it bled right through. Okay, this first one is, they call them YR000. Is that even focused? Which is yellow red, so orange or peach or whatever, and the name is Silk. I'll layer it a couple times so we can get a couple of different tonal values. And then we have pigment yellow red 16, which is apricot, which is not really apricot-y to me, it's just orange, but whatever. I very rarely look at the names when I buy them. I just look at the colors and think, yeah, I like that one. I'll use that one. And there we go. Short and sweet. Happy little oranges. You can get a closer look at some of these colors. Water-solubles. You can see that really didn't, it blurred it a little bit with the water, but it really didn't do a whole lot. It works better if you use those Daniel Smith sticks like an actual watercolor pan. And the two Copics down at the bottom. So I'm gonna take this off and I'll label them on the back so I don't forget what I just did. And thanks for watching this. I don't particularly have a favorite orange, really. Orange is not one of my most favorite colors. Let me know if it's your favorite color, and if you like bright ones or dark ones. What kind of oranges do you like? Anyways, thanks for watching, and please give this a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. And yeah, thanks for popping by. Bye.